Hey guys, hello, it's Ann popping on behind my apron a little earlier than normal, but you know what? I have kind of a busy night, so I thought it would be great to do some prep work and get some of this done and out of the way because I'm going to do a Zoom cook-along tonight, which is another fun way to have a Pampered Chef party. So if you're thinking about that, hit me up sometime. But we are making a new fall recipe right now. So you are getting a sneak peek of some things happening come September in our business. But it's also still summer, so there's lots of vegetables to use, lots of fruits. So I was really excited when Home Office in our test kitchen developed a new seasoning called Honey Sriracha. And if you've heard me talk about Taste Buds before, which is our meal inspiration subscription, where you get seasonings and recipes each month, that is the first time we introduced the Honey Sriracha. But it was so popular that I'm happy to tell you that it is going to be in the line this fall, so you'll actually be able to buy a bottle of it like regular. And that is my timer telling me I need to do the next step of this recipe. So what I have going on my cooktop tonight, because you know when it's summer, I try to cook in my air fryer, on the grill, or on the cooktop, and not use the oven to be a little bit more economical and to not heat up my house. So tonight's recipe that I'm doing part of it right now, I'll do the rice and the garnishes later, but I don't have time to do all of this for the window that Jim and I have tonight. So because he told me it's pickle making night too. So we got to fit in pickles, a Zoom cook along, have something nutritious to eat. So it's a little bit crazy. So this is called Honey Sriracha chicken. And I have on my stovetop, I have one of my favorite skillets. This is the saute and steam pan. As you can see, it's square. You can use the steamer if you want also, but for this recipe, I don't want to do that. What I have in here so far is boneless, skinless chicken breasts. No, chicken thighs. So I heated up the pan, then I put in a little olive oil, got that hot, and then what I did is I personally love these kitchen shears from Pampered Chef. You get them in the knife set, but you can also buy them separately. They come apart, they're great to throw in and wash, but they cut anything. So, you know, chicken's always a challenge to cut. I use these, I used the shears, I took my boneless, skinless thighs, and I cut each thigh into about 3 or 4 chunks. Now, I'm kind of making half of the batch of recipe tonight because we don't need all that leftovers, but this would make a much larger batch. In fact, it says it'll feed 6 full servings if you are cooking for a family or you like to make some things and have leftovers for lunch or something. So I cubed up or just cut into chunks the boneless, skinless thighs. I made sure that I salt and peppered both sides of them. Then I put them in the hot skillet. I left them go for 5 minutes so you would get the nice searing of the brown. Flipped them over one time. And now it's time to add the rest of the vegetables. And saving some time in the kitchen and saving some money right now is super important to everybody. And so last night I was prepping for dinner. I did a couple things that I could use tonight. So in one of our silicone prep bowls, I already cubed up the broccoli. And so I'm just going to dump the broccoli right in the skillet. And you guys, these are great. In fact, I'm using all 3 in this recipe tonight. But one comment when you're making broccoli to go in a recipe, make sure that you cut it into the size that fits on your fork. Okay, that just makes sense for everybody. But we're putting in broccoli. I want to add some red bell pepper. So you guys know, I think the quick slice is the best invention ever. So I've just cleaned half of my pepper. I'm cutting it through. As you can see, it's already got these nice sticks cut for me. So I'm going to throw in the red bell pepper. And then, as soon as I get this half through, this is actually the pasta tongs from the silicone and wood set. But you guys, I love it when I'm doing recipes like this because it kind of grabs onto some of the food. So I wanted to give these a couple stirs while I slice the onion. So this recipe has, you know, pretty much a whole onion in it, but again, I'm only making kind of a partial batch. So I'm not going to use this whole onion, but I am going to use the simple slicer because if you're grilling or stir frying, you want your portions cut as similar in size as you can get because then they all get done at the same time. So, and I guess one of my big questions for you guys is this time of year, are you stovetop cooking a lot or are you cooking outside? Put it in the chat, let me know. A lot of people I know love summer stir fries. You can put in fresh zucchini, fresh corn, fresh onions. That is so delicious. You could make it vegetarian or you could add some cubed up chicken or shrimp. But we're gonna put the onion in the simple slicer. This is the tool that only slices, but it does do 3 different thicknesses. So I'm gonna set my thickness here. And I'm going to put my onion in. Always use the finger protector. I don't ever want to hear about somebody that sliced these. Can you see them? Can you see them slicing my onions out? That's probably about half of the onion. Then I'm going to just take a good knife and cut those pieces in half so that I can lift up the flexible mat and just drop them in the recipe. And I'm going to give these guys a good stir. It's colorful, isn't it? It's looking so good. And I kind of watched the clock. I just want to get these vegetables going in here for a couple minutes. And the last flavor for this that I'm going to add is a clove of garlic. And so I'm using the garlic press. Of course, as a reminder, a lot of people, you can buy a lot of garlic at Farmer's Market right now. Pop out a clove or 2. You don't have to skin it, okay? And just put however much garlic you want in the recipe. So put it in the holding bin, give it a good squeeze. Whoops, forgot what I was doing. Got to turn it over, give it a good squeeze. All that garlic came out, and just use a sharp knife. Add it in, and give this another couple stirs. And I'm going to look here to see if any of you commented on whether you're stir frying a lot this summer or not. I don't see that, okay. Couple things to know for August. Our recipe search on our website is really fun. So if you have, say, broccoli on hand, but you're not sure what to make tonight for dinner, go to my website and hit the recipe tab, and you could just type in the word broccoli, and it will populate all the broccoli recipes for you. And oh, Glennis, I'm glad you love my avocado apron. Isn't it fun? I earned it from an incentive with Pampered Chef this summer, and I'm loving it too. Okay, so I'm going to turn this down a little bit, and that is going to saute, and I want to make the sauce, all right? And so what we need to do for the sauce, I'm going to use another one of the prep bowls. We need to take a tablespoon of the honey sriracha seasoning, and I'm just using one of the measuring spoons, obviously. Then it calls for a tablespoon of soy sauce. So you guys, on the measure all cups, this is what we'll use for the honey too. It works great on sticky things as well. But for liquids, you can pour in this way and you can read the measurement marks, okay? And it goes together both ways. I had it backwards there because I want to be able to read the marks. And you'll be able to see as I pour the soy sauce in here. So I need a tablespoon of soy sauce. Whoops, got a little carried away there. So I'll put a little back, and I can read right through on the line. So put in my tablespoon of soy sauce, and then I'm just going to blot that dry a second because I actually want to use the other side now to do my honey. I'm going to give this another stir. We want that to just keep lightly sauteing here. And I'm going to do my honey measurements. This is one of my favorite parts about using these measure all cups is when you do sticky things like honey, because you'll be able to just scrape the end of it clean. So tip it over your mixing bowl, and then you can use a rubber scraper. I just have my measuring spoon still there. Scrape that clean. Let's see, we've got sriracha, we've got soy, we've got honey. Oh, we need a half of a lime juiced. So take a lime, simply cut it in half, as half accurately as you can. Use the citrus press. Let me get this measuring spoon out of the road. Citrus press, you guys put the cut side down, All right, there's holes in the bottom, so you will see all that lime juice going right into our sauce recipe. Then you would have that to toss away. And use your little flat whisk to whisk all this goodness together. So can you guys see it? It's a little bit thick. You want it to be a little bit thick with that honey for right now. And then just drizzle it over the top of the vegetables and chicken. And then this is gonna cook for about 5 minutes, so I'm not gonna bore you and keep you on here with me for 5 minutes, but I will just tell you, put the lid on and let it go for about 5 minutes, 3 to 5 minutes. And then in the last small bowl, I put a couple tablespoons of cornstarch and I'm going to add a couple tablespoons of water and just make a little slurry to thicken this sauce, all right? And then that's all that I'm gonna do right now, just to save me time for tonight. And then when we want to eat it, I will heat this back up right in this skillet, and then I will make some brown rice on the side. Some people they just make like a burrito bowl type concept out of it. But I'm gonna do brown rice tonight, and then I'm gonna dice up some fresh green onions and chow mein noodles for us to enjoy for dinner. So honey sriracha chicken with vegetables is what this is. And then just a couple other things I should comment on. In the cookware group, you guys, there's a big announcement of some new cookware coming in the fall too. But let me tell you, if you just need a great family skillet, something like this, remember this is the ones that the handles come off for storage and stacking. This month, we are letting our hosts purchase something of their choice at 60% off. And did you know you can be a host just by sharing a link with 3 or 4 friends and gathering some orders? You don't have to have a, quote, big organized party, okay? And then maybe you saw the sneak peek, but you know my favorite blender right back here, the cooking blender that also cleans itself. All the electric appliances, so the air fryer, the blender, the deluxe grill and griddle, the multi cooker, all of those are $100 off in August too. So you guys, huge sales, huge deals. So if you want to save some time or you need some new tools, just shoot me a message on that as well. And then the last thing I'm curious about is, where are you guys buying boneless, skinless chicken thighs? Or have you not been buying them and you're buying chicken breasts? Because I had to go to 3 stores on Sunday to find them. They're so moist. They're great in so many recipes, but it's getting hard to find them right at the moment. And they're sometimes cheaper and sometimes more than chicken breasts. It's kind of a crazy thing. But those of you that are watching, I'd really love to know, if you're using them, where are you buying them from? Because it is like the slickest thing ever to have boneless, skinless thighs instead of you having to bone them and skin them. So just curious about that, because that's kind of been a pain point for me lately to find them. And then just one other great use with them. Actually, my son taught us this. But if you just take a package of boneless, skinless thighs, usually they come in about 2-pound packages if they're pre-packaged. That's what I finally found at Hy-Vee on Sunday. If you take a 2-pound package, put them in a slow cooker, like our Rock Crack slow cooker and stand works great. Put about half a bottle of barbecue sauce on them and just let them go for 6 hours maybe. You guys, then you can shred that incredibly moist barbecued chicken. And we used it on just chicken sandwiches, made chicken quesadillas. You can make chicken wraps with that wonderfully moist barbecued chicken recipe. It does not get dry and tough like if you're using boneless, skinless breast stew for that type of thing. So just a heads up on that. I wish I could invite y'all to dinner tonight, but I'll be back on again sometime soon. See you later.